Tacoma has been a city perpetually on the verge.
Yes.
And right before COVID hit,
Oh, man.
the flywheel was starting to turn.
Mm-hmm.
It was starting to gain momentum. It was starting to, the torque was starting to happen, and then COVID hit, and it just ground the flywheel to a halt.
Yeah.
It feels like the flywheel's starting to gain momentum again.
In 2024, all of a sudden, this vibe of where things are headed, it just turned. And I think this year is where everyone's going to recognize that, holy cow, this is the year that we are taking this big transition. I don't know, just my gut tells me this.
So the campus felt that way.
The campus did.
This academic year, in autumn last year, was the first time since the spring of 2020 that it started to feel like people were here and engaged and, I guess, invested.
It's the students, the talents that are coming out of there.
We're creating the workforce.
You are absolutely doing that. That's exactly right.
Guys, I'm so excited for you guys to be here. And we've been working on this project, the Tacoma Rising UWT Challenge I've been talking about it for, 8 months or so. You guys probably found out about 4 months ago, but I'm so excited to be able to have this conversation with you guys today. We are having a workshop between UWT, University of Washington, Tacoma, and Tacoma Rising on April 10th. And what we'll be doing is we will be looking at the Swiss, and we're going to reimagine the Swiss. So we're going to take 25 students. Natalie, that's why you're here, to talk about that from the student perspective. We're going to take 5 students from engineering, 5 students from urban design, finance, marketing, and business. And we're going to get all 25 students together, and we're going to work on a problem. And the problem is the Swiss. What do we do with the Swiss? And how do we tie it back into the new master plan coming? With those 5 students, there'll be 15 professionals. When I say 5, each team will have 5, and then we'll be adding 3 professionals from that same discipline to the team. So it'll be 5 teams of 8, and we're going to let them just go at this problem for about 4 hours, and then we're going to have the public come in, do a lunch, and let them all present. And then we're going to I don't know if you know this, but you will probably be 2 of the judges. But we're going to let some judges judge on a few elements and see who comes up with the best presentation about the Swiss. What do you guys think?
Fantastic.
Sound good?
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
All right. Well, let's take a step back. Let's talk about UWT, the campus in general, and the master plan. What's going on with the campus?
So our campus turns 35 years old this year.
That's incredible.
Or the University of Washington turns 35 years old. UWT, we moved onto our campus in 1996. Our current campus, it's 46 acres. We're built out on about a third of it right now. It goes from Pacific Avenue at the bottom up to Tacoma Avenue at the top, 17th Street on the north, 21st on the south. So it's a large piece of property, and we own most of that land. And kind of rightfully so, the community has been increasingly asking us, what are you going to do with this?
Mm-hmm.
We're about 5,000 students right now. The campus footprint can handle, depending on who you ask, from 10,000 is our goal to get to by 2050, if you're kind of broad stroking it.
Mm-hmm. Joe, what's the real answer? When will we get there?
I think 2050 is a reasonable number to get to 10,000.
Yeah. Okay.
It takes time to build academic programs to support that. But you also need the infrastructure, campus infrastructure. And so we've, for the last, seems like forever, but year, been looking at how do we grow up the hill? How do we do it thoughtfully?
Mm-hmm.
We've been looking at things like how do we pay attention to the edges of campus so that we ensure that it's incorporated with downtown Tacoma, that it's part of the city, that it's not this walled institution that people don't feel like belongs to them. We've talked a lot about the open space and the green space. We essentially have the largest green space in downtown Tacoma. and being good stewards of that space and making it an asset for downtown, both those who live here and for the business community, that people want to come here. They want to be here. They want to stay downtown, that it's active and vibrant. So that's what we're looking at, both building our academic programs, but then the physical infrastructure that goes along with that to support those programs.
A little foreshadowing, when you talk about the big green space, does that happen to be the green space across from the Swiss?
That is a part of it. Actually, we've envisioned it. The green space right now goes from Pacific Avenue up to Jefferson, up the main stairway. And we have the vision of this plan takes it onto that green space next to the Swiss. And then it continues up the hill at an angle up to the corner of 17th and Tacoma Avenue, so that there's this vista down the hill and this green space that cuts down the hill. It just happens to be looking right at Mount Rainier.
Bummer.
Yeah, I know.
So one topic that we've talked about in the past, briefly, UWT is a commuter school.
Yep.
But you're looking at also bringing housing on campus. How much, what's the percentage of students that you think that you could house on campus?
Yeah, well, currently we have about 300 in the Court 17 building, which is a converted market apartment building. The current master plan, so our current master plan is from 2008. So a few things have happened since then. That's the new one that we're working on right now. I think that plan it was something like 10 or 12% of student headcount would be on campus in housing. We are almost done with the new master plan, the update to the master plan, which just means we are almost done with defining what that new percentage might be. So that'll be defined in terms of the kind of the program and feel of campus that we think is going to be in the future, and also what's the sense of demand maybe in the shorter term of what students are interested in with housing options on campus.
10%. That's 10, 12%. That's a good number.
Yeah. And the assumption is that we're going to continue to be a primarily commuter campus.
Sure.
But with housing also comes food service, which is another big service that we're currently short on. But what that does is, it brings the opportunities for residents on campus, but it also improves kind of the overall vibe of campus in the neighborhood, which is going to make it more interesting to those commuter students to come to class and also stay on campus and hang out and socialize and do their homework and whatnot, and be part of the downtown community.
Yeah, at 10,000 students, if you have 1,000, 1,500 students living on campus, it changes the feel for the other 8,500, 9,000 students that are commuting.
It does.
It makes it a different experience, and it makes it a different experience in downtown Tacoma
Exactly.
to have that kind of life living here.
When I first got into town, I originally the goal was to move to Seattle, and it didn't work out that way, and which I'm so glad it didn't, because I love Tacoma Rising. But when I first came to town, the university is the first thing I saw when I came in. It's the gateway to the city in my mind. That was the first thing I was like, oh, holy cow, they have a campus down here, UWT or University of Washington. And I think it's so cool. It sets the stage for kind of as you're coming into town, in my opinion, from an outsider when I first got into town. And I thought that was really exciting. Speaking of being an outsider and being new to town, I was really excited to find a way to work with UWT, with Tacoma Rising. When I first reached out, it had gone through a couple different people, but the Swiss had nothing to do with this workshop idea. So when you heard that I was trying to work with you, I think from Ann Larson and Stan and some other folks, what made you not say no? What got you excited about it to where you were like, oh, hey, that's a good idea. Would you do the Swiss?
Loved the idea. Engaging students in a problem that they can work with together with professionals, fantastic idea. And, we have been trying to solve the puzzle of the Swiss since the pandemic hit and the Swiss closed in March of 2020. So we've been trying to figure that out, trying to solve it. And it seemed like the perfect problem for teams of students to, in the heart of our campus, in the center of our campus, for teams of students to offer their thoughts and ideas and creativity from both a student experience standpoint and from a business standpoint. It was just a perfect match between student experience and getting this hands-on experience that they'll be able to use and carry forward into their careers, matched with something that we need help with.
Well, it's funny because go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna get on my Swiss soapbox here real quick. So, in my opinion, when campus is built out, and actually before that, the Swiss is going to be the iconic moment on campus. It's going to be the iconic space. And if you look at the work that we're doing on the master plan update, as we make this transition from the historic preservation stage of campus development to the embracing of what the new development up the hill is going to be, the Swiss is the pivot point around which all of that flows. Yeah. And if we do a good job there, it's going to drive successful project decisions and project development up the hill. So it's just really, A, that's exciting. I geek out on it. And B, it's really cool to be at a place where you have the opportunity to work with community partners and business partners to create that kind of opportunity for students.
Yeah, I agree. And I had some ideas, but when you asked me about the Swiss, I'm kind of embarrassed to say I wasn't familiar with the Swiss. But within 2 minutes of you explaining it to me, I was like, that's it. That's the problem. That's what we should be doing. And I feel like you mentioned this earlier, that when people hear the Swiss or talk about the Swiss, there's an audible like reaction to it. And that's such a cool thing. And this is our first one. I think this is the perfect project, but it's really, it's exciting on so many different levels.
The Swiss as a bar, as a Swiss hall, it opened in the late 1800s, early 1900s.
Early 1900s.
Oh, wow. Early 1900s. Yeah. But as the Swiss, the bar, it opened in the early 1980s. But it served as Tacoma's gathering place. It was one of the few kind of concert venues in town. Yeah, small. A lot of bands played there. I'm shocked at how many people I run into in the city who say, "I met my spouse there." Right?
Yes. I've heard that. That's true. That's so funny.
So, our hope is to that spirit of it being a gathering place, a place that has that kind of energy, that we can recreate that at the heart of our campus.
Yeah, I agree. And this next question is for both of you, Ben and Joe. The challenge from being a part of the business school, what does a challenge like this do for the students, in your opinion?
So my first job a long time ago at the school was I worked for the Milgard School of Business, and I ran the Center for Leadership and Social Responsibility. And we had multiple student case competitions. We had an etiquette dinner for students. We had multiple opportunities for students to get together and both interact with professionals, but also to develop their skills in terms of problem solving, teamwork, creativity. Those case competitions, I still run into students from, the 2009 that say that case competition changed the trajectory of my career. I am where I am today because I chose to, randomly sign up for this competition that I had no idea what it was. And it really, I connected with someone there, or it changed how I thought about what I wanted to do. These kinds of experiences change students' experience, their college experience.
I agree.
Yeah.
one person, you meet one person that can change the whole direction of your life. Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I want to say that was a very well phrased question. I know you were kind of like, what's the right way to ask that? That was really, really
Well,
good.
thank you.
And I think it would be interesting to hear what a student thought about it.
Yeah.
I'm taking over the show.
Throw it to me. I think something that I've learned in my time here is that you can talk facts all day, you can read from a book all day, you can listen to somebody talk, but that might not be the way that somebody learns best. And so I think from my perspective and my time at UW-Tacoma, I've learned the best from Stan forcing us to stand up and do presentations that we're all extremely uncomfortable with. I've learned the best with just hands-on. I don't learn great by taking math notes. I don't learn by having somebody talk at me for 2 hours. It's just not. Maybe some people do. That could be possible. Everybody learns differently. But I think the opportunity with this challenge to be able to talk to real business professionals, and networking, of course, is utterly important. Just being able to have that hands-on experience is what really is going to be important for students, especially in the trajectory of their career. I mean, this is something that could change it for a lot of people. I've done a lot with Stan. He's helped me a lot, and that's that one person that's done a lot for me. So.
And you mentioned Stan. Did you have a presentation at the Rainier's
I did.
baseball stadium?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I was there, and actually, you looked familiar when you walked in.
That's funny.
Which is Stan invited me.
I just blacked out. Who knew?
It was funny because you said that, and I was sitting there. I was like, "Oh my gosh, I think you were there." I don't. What program were you talking about, or what was your?
For the presentation
Yeah, for the
specifically,
presentation,
that was the seminar class that everybody has to take for the minor, the sports enterprise management minor. That's the class where Stan makes you get really uncomfortable. There's a class, it's like 485, I think, and then there's 370, which is kind of the starting point. And I actually took them backwards. 485 I took first, and that one kicked my butt. That was, but in a good way, in the way of I'm learning things that I've never learned from another professor. And it was golf was my presentation.
Golf, that's
which
right.
I'm not
Chambers
super
Bay.
interested in, but you know.
Was it Chambers Bay?
Part of it, and Alan Moore was the other part of it. Yeah,
and Alan Moore, yeah, that's right.
We
I
went up
remember
and
that.
compared the two. It was interesting to compare the two, just from I'm not a golfer, but that perspective was interesting to see, just the two different extremes. But that was that's funny. I didn't. Sorry, I totally.
No, don't. When you said that, it started. I was like, man. When you said you had a class with Stan and about the presentations, he invited me to that one, and that's how long ago we started the conversation about doing this workshop. So this has been in the works for a while, and Stan was the one that I've been working with. How do we make this become a reality? So that's a really interesting.
He'll get things done. That's for sure.
Does. It's that's so cool. Small world.
Yeah,
Small Tacoma.
Yeah,
it
small
is.
Tacoma.
Yeah.
That's oh my gosh, Ben. I was gonna go back with you the same question I asked Joe. But from the business community side of things, how does a challenge like this impact the business community? Because the goal here is that we want to bring students and businesses together. That's the whole idea. Like the curriculum is great, but whatever comes out of it, I hope we can use at some level. But it's really about what the local businesses and the students can gain from interacting and networking and meeting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's that. I guess it's the virtuous circle.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, from the business perspective, it gives them the opportunity to be exposed to new and interesting thinking. It gives them an opportunity to be exposed to the intellectual capital that is coming out of this institution. And when we talk about, economic impact of higher education, I mean, that's the thing that swamps everything else.
Yeah.
Right. And from the student's perspective, again, it's exposure to those opportunities, to those to be able to network with folks that are in the fields that they're interested in, or maybe in a field that they don't know anything about, and they find out that they are interested in.
Golf.
Yeah, golf. Yeah, who knew? Golf.
Still not interested.
And one of the things that if a higher education institution is in a community, one of the things that you want to be able to do is to make sure that the community is sticky when those folks are coming out. All right, so they're not packing their bags and moving 30 miles north.
Yeah.
or they're not, or 150 miles to the south or whatever, because you've made the investment, you've created that capital, you've created that talent.
Mm-hmm.
The next step is to have places for that talent to land,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one way that you can help do that.
And one of our jobs in Tacoma Rising, or that I believe that we're trying to accomplish, and I'm putting that job because I think it's important, is that recruitment. Like, I want to recruit businesses from Seattle and the outside regions, and I think that Tacoma is a place that you go, and showcasing the talent that's coming out. We need to keep it here, and some of it we're going to lose because they desires to move other places. But if we have the opportunities to keep them here, let's keep them here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about what you said when you were describing when you first came into downtown, and you're like, oh wow, there's a campus here. There's an analogous experience that you want the business community to experience. Like, oh wow, there's a lot of talent coming out here. I want to be in a position to take advantage of that. We were talking about info blocks earlier.
Yeah,
It's a great example of that. They saw the opportunity. They were able to position themselves literally across the street to be first in line.
And Infobox is one of the businesses you guys have partnered with. Are there other businesses in town that you've partnered with in certain levels?
Most.
See, that's the answer, and that's what I want to get out there, because from the event last night that we talked about from the PSBJ, groups had reached out we had a couple board members there from Tacoma Rising at the event, and they were asking about the event and how do they get involved, and they want to get involved with UWT, and that was part of it. And this is kind of an opportunity to get those folks to shine lights and get them. A lot of people want to meet you guys, and they want to get involved in what you guys are doing. And I thought this was, wow, that's awesome. It's like they're really, like, selfishly, I love that they're interested in the event, but I think it's great for the community for them to be looking down here and getting more involved. Another interesting fact, the NAIOP forecast this year, which they do every year, NAIOP's a commercial real estate organization. I'm not sure how many organizations you know in the commercial real estate yet, Natalie, but you're gonna learn you
have to play golf though.
Yeah, but
No
golf,
promises.
commercial real estate. Yeah, you kind of got to do
It's a
both.
requirement.
But NAIOP's event, it was the largest attended event for Tacoma, for the economic forecast that they've had. It was sold out. That tells me a lot of things about what's going on in Tacoma, and that there's eyes on Tacoma, and that is when things start to change. And that's why I'm excited. And I think having these businesses interested in getting in front of folks at UWT through this event, that's great, because then they get in front of the students, and then we start making these connections. And I don't know, I'm excited about that. Yeah.
That dynamic is the perfect dynamic, and it kind of expresses what we have been, all about. UW Tacoma is of this community.
Yeah.
And it was created by this community, and not every university has the experience that we do in terms of the town-gown relationship. And I don't know that there are many that have a better relationship than we do with both the city, but also the business community and the citizens of Tacoma. People from Tacoma love UW Tacoma. And I can say that because I'm from Tacoma. So, and I remember I grew up here and remember what it was like downtown in the 70s when downtown died, and the area where the campus was pretty bleak. You wouldn't want to be there.
Yes.
And the vibrancy that we've brought back to it is a fantastic dynamic.
Yeah, I agree. It's just very dynamic. It's I get excited about just Tacoma in general because it's because of folks like you guys. Like, it wasn't difficult to reach out and connect with you guys, and it's very approachable. And the school's approachable, Tacoma's approachable. And I think you were telling this story earlier. Something about the water. What's in the water?
Yeah, I was working with a large national corporation, and they were in town and was talking about the city of Tacoma and different businesses and nonprofit sector, and she said, "What is it about this town? What is in the water here? You don't understand how unique this is in terms of being able to identify a problem, pull people to the table, and pull across sector groups to the table to solve problems." And she said that does not happen in communities across the country. And this is someone who works with communities across the country. And she was very both complimentary and also trying to have us understand the uniqueness of what that is. And I think that's really important that we not lose that. Our ability to, pick up the phone and call someone and pull a group to the table, and what Tacoma Rising is doing, it works really well here. People are always very willing to come help solve problems.
Tacoma is a globally competitive place. It just doesn't know it yet.
Yeah,
Agreed. It's true.
It really is, and that's true. And that's that's a great point. It's just like it just doesn't know it yet, and it's coming. And Natalie, that's why I was point of coming back is to you on this. With this event, what do you think it's going to do to help? Do you think how will it impact students? This one event. Do you think what will it do for those students if they come to this event? In your opinion?
Yeah. I talked a little bit about networking and how important that is. I've learned in my experience at UW that is going to get you farther than any class you can take. Knowing people, that's why I'm here, is because I know Stan connected me to Ann. That's why I'm here. It's all about networking. And I think that if students have that opportunity, then that's something that they'll take. I'm afraid that that's not offered maybe as much as it should be, especially in industries that we really want to work in. I mean, we can hammer tooth and nail that you have all these opportunities to talk to banks. And we're like, well, that's not really who I want to work for. I have no interest in that, especially from a marketing perspective with myself. We want to see industries like sports is a big one. I mean, I'm biased there, but just another industry that's kind of outside of that. But just this opportunity to be able to talk to these professionals in different industries from a marketing perspective, from a finance perspective, from whatever the case may be, is going to be priceless for students. I think that's the most important part, is just being able to talk to people. It's going to get you farther than education, really. I mean, you'll get the piece of paper and it'll say UW, and that's fantastic that you have an education and a degree. But having connections is what's going to get you a job. And I think that that's huge for this part and for students having this opportunity brought to them. I mean, you're really handing it to them. You're laying it out in front of them. You're saying, here's $250. Come spend a couple hours with us and get an education. I mean, it's hard to pass that up. When I heard that, I mean, I was like, yeah, I'm sold.
Well, I'm glad it's working, because we're like, what can we do to get all the students, excited about this?
Yeah, money's good. That will help.
Well, and I think that you have picked up on something that some people go their whole career and don't understand. Network Huge. Is your network is your net worth in so many ways. And it took me a long time to realize that, but it's the people it's how you connect, because you never know what's going to happen. And it's just being well connected with people. They'll lead to opportunities, education. It's so important. So go ahead.
Sorry, I try to hound that into my peers, and as much, I mean, I'm older to be in college, and I think that has actually helped me a little bit, is that I took some time to figure out what I really wanted to do. And I really try to tell my peers. I had a phone call with the Rainiers the other day because I had connections. Stan got me in connection with Megan Mead. She's the vice president of the Tacoma Rainiers. She was one of my professors, and now I use her as a right-hand woman. I mean, I always feel like I can go to her and learn something, even if it's just we're going to sit down and talk. It's just knowledge. And then I had a talk with the board for the Sports Enterprise Management minor, and it was Stan and then Aaron Artman. He's the president of the Tacoma Rainiers. And then he was actually impressed by me during that talk, and he said, reach out, let's have a phone call, and we'll see where we can go from there. And I ended up getting on the phone with Shane Santman. He's the head of sales or something like that. And we had a phone call, and it didn't get me a job because I'm, still in college. I need to graduate, and then we'll go from there. Give me the degree. But it felt like I had that extra boost. So when I put my resume in and I say I really want this job, he's talked to me. So hopefully that puts me to the top of the list of applicants versus people who said, okay, here's my degree, but I did nothing else in college. I did not talk to any people. I didn't join any clubs. You have to, even if it's super uncomfortable. I'm also the vice president of Marketing Society, and that was something huge. I mean, I've made connections there that I never would have made if I didn't get uncomfortable and decide to say yes to this.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable.
Oh yeah.
Very uncomfortable.
I love hearing that.
Yeah.
Because I used to teach freshmen.
Oh, okay.
And on the first day of class, I would always tell them, if you come to class and do your homework and study and take your tests, you'll get a degree.
Yeah.
And you'll get a piece of paper. And that piece of
That's
paper is going to be awesome on your wall.
Yeah.
If you take the time, if you're there, if you're, networking is a contact sport. You have to be there. You can't do it from your couch. If you do all the things and engage and make the connections, and that paper is going to be worth much more than a piece of paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you want a piece of paper, come back to my office and I'll print one out for you.
Yeah, exactly. We can even write UW on it.
Yeah,
So-
right. So it's great to hear you say that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Good.
It's a good, I see, like, when I'm on social media, because we do a lot of social media stuff, I always see something that says, get off social media and go out and do something. And that's, and it's, COVID was created a lot of these problems. And getting off your phone and going out and doing exactly what you're doing. Go meet people. Go have conversations. And you take those risks, be uncomfortable. And I think that's where you start seeing growth. And I agree with you, like a degree is great, but experience, network, getting out there, being able to talk to people, it takes practice.
It does.
I mean, I didn't just wake up one day and be this charming. It took time.
I'm not going to say what I was going to say.
No, go ahead. I won't even cut it. All right. So one last question. We've been talking about the event, so obviously I'm going to stay on the event. Goals. If you could get one goal or accomplish one goal from this event, the UWT Challenge, what would it be? Joe, you want to go first?
I'll go first. I might take Ben's answer.
Oh,
I have a feeling you are. Joe and I spend too much time together.
We do. I would love to see, this is more than just an exercise for students.
Yeah.
There is a direct outcome of this event, and that outcome is the revitalization of the Swiss, having it become that vital hub for our campus, and we need partners to do that.
Yeah.
So if that can be an outcome of this, that we start the conversations that lead to the Swiss being redone in whatever the students come, your fantastic ideas, that would be the outcome that I'd love to see.
Ben?
Well, yeah, Joe stole my answer. I'm going to drill down into it a little bit more. Specifically, so I've shown the Swiss to a lot of people, and there's always a point in the walkthrough where we go into the upstairs ballroom event space, and what I'll do is I get in the space just a little bit ahead of them, so I could be about 10 feet away from the door to watch their face when they come in and see this absolute gem of an event space that's upstairs that not a lot of people know about anymore. So the outcome, just very selfishly, the outcome I would love to be able to see is kind of standing there and just watching people stream in to a renovated heart of campus space.
Yeah.
It'd just be great.
Yeah, I agree.
I think from a student perspective, as I am a commuter student, I'm from Port Orchard, so it's kind of a drive. Enough of a drive that makes me not want to stay on campus when I'm done with class. I get to camp. I have an 8 a.m., so I get to class at 8 a.m. I'm done at like 12:30, and then I just want to go home. I don't want to stay. There's nothing that's so appealing makes me want to stay for a couple more hours and do homework. I'd rather go home and be with my cat or something, which is just the honest truth. But I think that with this change that we're going to bring to the Swiss building, that is something that appeals to students, it appeals to the community, it appeals to everybody. And it's something that I would see myself being like, I could go here and I could do schoolwork and I could bring girlfriends. And, you know, after class, if we had a giant test and they keep the bar, then everybody gets to celebrate because we're done with our test and now we can have a fun place for students to be. So it would be nice to have a place where students can come, the community can come, and all just not have that kind of separation anymore. That'd be that place to bring the community and the students together.
That's a great answer. All of them great answers. That's really exciting. Very cool. All right. Did you guys want to hear mine? I feel like you're all looking at me.
Yeah, sure.
Let's hear it.
I want to hear yours.
What's yours?
Yeah.
Oh man. Honestly, I hope I would say from the Tacoma Rising perspective, it would be really cool that down the road someone comes up and say, "Hey, that event you guys put on got me this opportunity," or you know, or if you call me up in a year and say, "Hey, we got a lead on this. That idea was really good. Thank you for, thanks for," or something. It turned into something bigger, and it was just something that we could do to inspire students or business community, or something came out of it. I can sit in there and say, you know what, that was worth it. That was cool. And I think there's gonna be a lot of that, and it's gonna be a big team effort. There's so many people I think are gonna get involved that we're gonna step away when it's done, or whatever comes out of this event. Something's gonna happen anyway. But if something from the event leads to something bigger, that's when I'll feel like, wow, that was really cool. I mean, I think it's gonna be cool anyway, but that would feel really good.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys willing to do this with us. And Natalie, I'm looking forward to having you on one of the teams there and hearing everyone's just response afterwards. We'll see you guys on April 10th.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you guys.
See you soon.